NFL mock draft season is back because I know some of y'all NFL teams aren't performing to your expectations. So you're already looking to next year. You're looking to the draft. You're looking to what's available, and that's what I'm here to do for y'all. Welcome back to Mock the Mock, where we take a look at someone else's mock draft, and I'm mocking, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. Today we got a good one as we look at Pro Football Network's own Joe Broback. Well, shoot, you're about to get mocked by Broshmo. What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. And let's see what Mr. Broback has for us using the current NFL draft order. And yes, current means Dolphins have no first-round picks. Fins up, baby, fins up. But we got first pick, Detroit Lions, CJ Stroud. Makes sense, as we can see Houston Texans go Bryce Young. So we could talk about these two picks as one, because listen, if you're picking one, you're picking two, you're thinking about the quarterback position. And right now there's two quarterbacks that are worth top 10 picks. If you're looking at Detroit, you know Jared Goff ain't the answer. Barely a bridge quarterback at that. So you want to go with the best quarterback in the nation. Could, depending on how you feel about size, that could be Bryce Young. If you want to go with maybe what you feel might be a safer option in CJ Stroud, it's got NFL size, it's got an NFL arm, then I'm cool with that. Houston Texans, Davis Mills is fine. He's all right. But he ain't the future. He ain't the franchise. Go ahead. Take whoever Detroit doesn't take. In this case, it's Bryce Young, which is great. I think Bryce Young is the best thrower of the football. I really do. Like, I think, yeah, the size, that may scare teams a bit. Not me. It ain't scaring me. Because this cat, what he's done at Alabama with the team that, let's be honest, like, offensively hasn't been that great. The offensive line, at least start the year, has been so-so. The drops have been imminent. He's really just had Jahmyr Gibbs there in the backfield. So he's been doing a lot of this by himself offensively. And Bryce Young's just fantastic, man. I love the dude's pocket presence. I love how he reads the middle of the field, how he goes through his progressions. Just everything about him is a great prospect. The only thing people will be willing to point out is the size. Really is. So if I'm Houston or Detroit, I'm not looking anywhere but quarterback if I'm there 1 or 2. Now let's look at 3, because I imagine things get interesting with, Will Levis crap in the bed, and not really a quarterback 3 that might be worth a top 10 pick at this point. As they go Willie Anderson, it's to be expected. Best player available strategy. Maybe you could get a quarterback somewhere in the second round. If you're Carolina, it kind of sucks, but you're kind of hoping maybe one of the top 2 teams passes on quarterback. I don't think that'll be really the case, so you just go with the best non-quarterback prospect in the draft, being Will Anderson. The guy, after that rough Texas game, he's really set fire. So can you imagine, dude? Will Anderson, Brian Burns, that's just crazy. On to number 4, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Jalen Carter. For some people, they will argue he is a better prospect than Will Anderson. He is at least a top 4 prospect. This cat is amazing. He's been hampered by, I believe, a knee injury this year. But when on the field, man, this guy just wreaks havoc. Pittsburgh would love that along that really aging defensive line when you look at the interior parts like Cam Hayward. They really have they've had no one to replace Stephon Tuitt there. I mean, it could be DeMarvin Leal, but we just don't know that at this point. Oh my gosh, Tyson Alu. That's an older, solid veteran, but you want a guy that get out there and stay on the field. So yeah, Jalen Carter, top notch. All right, on to the Jacksonville Jaguars going Paris Johnson. Paris Johnson's been really good this season for the Buckeyes. You can make an argument he is the top OT in this class. I think he's well worth the top 10 pick at this point. Jacksonville, you got Juwan Taylor, I think is a free agent after this season. Cam Robinson's been whatever. He's been all right. So adding more help at the tackle spot, I think, is nice. All right, Las Vegas Raiders, they're going Miles Murphy, best player available, and I guess in this regard, as he's another guy that's a top 10 prospect when it comes to physical tools. Out the wazoo, after a slow start, he's really turned it around, and he's just been a menace on that defensive line for the Tigers. You're not really getting what you wanted out of Chandler Jones, Max Crosby. He's been doing his thing. Can you imagine, dude, putting Murphy in there, who's got this versatile body type? Doesn't mean just because he's on there doesn't mean Chandler Jones isn't on the field. So I like that. On the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they go Trent Simpson. Someone's a little worried that Devin White's not all that great. Man, I remember doing redrafts. People always criticize me for having Devin White later in the draft. Like, he has all these splash plays, but if you look in between the lines there, man, missed tackles, just poorly tracking down ball carriers. Like, there's stuff there that's not as pretty. This is too high for Trent Simpson in my opinion. Kind of is what it is, but I mean, I guess I can understand it, but for me, it's too high. It's just too high. I like the Eagles pick here, though, Keely Ringo, because Darius Slay's up there in years. James Bradbury, will they be able to sign him to a long-term deal after the season? Another guy that's up there, I think he's like, 28, 29? What are you, James Bradbury? James Bradbury. 29, okay. So he will be 30 before the 2023 season. So, yeah, grabbing the next guy up, I think, is a fine strategy. To go with the values there. Top corner on the board. Go ahead, take it. All right, Houston Texans, second pick. They go Jackson Smith-Njigba. He's the first wide receiver off the board. I disagree. Listen, I get it. He's going to be, I think, the most sought-out slot-only prospect, and I really do think he's slot-only just because of the lack of athleticism compared to your other high-end prospects at this point. But you know what he can do. He's a good blocker. He knows how to find the soft spots in coverage, and he's really good after the catch. So I understand it. I get it. It's too high for me. I'm still looking at guys like Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnston if I'm looking for wide receiver. And then the Seattle Seahawks go Will Levis, which that's kind of cool, I guess. I mean, he doesn't have to start right away, but at his age, you kind of want him to. But I'm not in love with this. I'm starting to come around. If Geno just keeps up this play, I'm willing to throw the franchise tag on him. Just a few weeks ago, I was like, you know what? Nah, dude. I ain't ready for that. But you know what? Like, if he keeps up this top 10 play, I think if you can't get a deal, a team-friendly deal done with him, slapping the franchise tag isn't a bad option. And then grabbing a quarterback you could maybe develop. I just don't think Will Levis is that guy. Like, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of this. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people in the comment section below that aren't fans of this. Will Levis, like, it's between the ears with him right now. It's just the processing, the decision making. It's not where you want it to be. I mean, I guess you stick a year with Geno and then just go Will Levis from there. But I don't know, man. I get the high-end upside. That'll probably make him a top 10 pick in the draft. I just don't think a lot of people are going to have him as a top 10 prospect. All right, we could go over these two. Arizona Cardinals, they go with Noah Sewell. Listen, there are a lot of things that still scare me from wanting to take Sewell in the first round. I think this is just too much for a linebacker. If you're the Cardinals, you'd rather go pass rush. You'd rather go corner, because that cornerback room is just dog water. I mean, I like Isaiah Simmons. I get it. He hasn't really worked out for you. Collins really hasn't shown much, but like there's just more value at other positions. The Chicago Bears go Kayshon Boutte. This surprises me that Boutte is actually still considered like a top 15 prospect at this point. I mean, he's looked better since. But it's not nowhere near the play that we expected from him coming into this season. I still probably want to take either a Jordan Addison or a Quentin Johnston here if I'm the Bears. I think receiver's the right position. It's just the wrong player. Boutte is great. It's just, again, down year. Down year. you had the roughness after the Florida State game where it's like, oh man, is he gonna play? What the heck? So it's like, yeah. Green Bay Packers, oh, this ain't gonna happen. They go Jordan Addison. They go wide receiver. They would love to get a separator, a field stretcher, someone to create space for Aaron Rodgers. I like the pick, just don't see it happening just, because it's the Packers. And then Brian Brazee going to the Detroit Lions. They would love to get a little nastiness on that defensive interior. They're kind of lacking that at this point. Levi Onwuzurike just hasn't been playing the part. No, he's also been beat up this year. But outside of Liam McNeil, man, that defensive interior has been very, very just weak in general. So this is good value here. Michael, why would the Colts go tight end? You got Mo Alley Cox. You got who was the cat they drafted out of Virginia? His name's escaping me at that moment, but you got those guys producing. You got bigger needs. This makes little to no sense for me, especially at the tight end position. Michael Mayer, he's great. He's fine. He's probably, like, for a lot of people, going to be a top 20 guy on the board. It's just he doesn't have those high-end traits you would consider at the position that's worth maybe a top 15 spot. Like, yeah, I don't like this pick one bit. Then the Cincinnati Bengals, they're going at Cam Smith. Oh, buddy, get that Eli Ricks replacement. I still would consider at least Joey Porter ahead of Cam Smith. Might even be the better scheme fit. You also could think offensive line because I think we haven't seen Broderick Jones. We haven't seen Olufoshanu, who would be a really good scheme fit. We haven't seen Peter Skoronski either. Holy moly. Haven't seen Skoronski, so I get it. Cornerback, yeah, it's up there. You go with that position, but I think offensive line just might be the way to go. Quinn Johnston making it to the Patriots. Good fit. Get a guy that's this big target for Mac Jones that could create after the catch. So that's fine. That's good. I like it. Anthony Richardson going to the Commanders. People give me crap because I think in my most recent mock drafts, I've been going, by the way, I have a 7-rounder. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. But I've been putting Anthony Richardson there for the Giants just because he's an enigma in this class. Where is he going to go? Because he's got tools. It's just, again, at this point, he's still a project. And I guess, for the Commanders, you could work with a project at this point, have him put on the bench and then just have guys like Heineke or Wentz start in front of him for a year until he gets it together. So, interesting pick. I'll say that. It's interesting. BJ Ojolari going to the Falcons. Falcons pass rush, not that great outside of who's really been producing for you outside of Grady Jarrett, but Arnold Ebiketin's been pretty cool this year. A lot of people are going to look at the Lorenzo Carter defensive TD, but he ain't a guy you want to move forward with. So getting more pass rush, I like that. BJ Ojolari has been exceptionally productive. Be like a Yannick on that defense. All right, this is now the Denver Broncos pick. They go Broderick Jones. Here we go. Which I like this. They can definitely get more production at the tackle spot. Bortles, I feel like, is a guy that could be a trade candidate this offseason. Even if he's not, grabbing that right tackle would be very nice. And with the way the tackle position's kind of fallen in this draft, I like it. Go for it. Brandon Jones, this surprises the heck out of me. Top 75, sure. First round, and I love Brandon Jones. I was a mark for Brandon Jones. I was one of the biggest guys on Brandon Jones. Just the play hasn't been there since the 2020 season with Northwestern. I do believe Nazir Adderley might be a free agent, so it could make sense in that regard. But you got good guys here on the defensive interior to help with the middle of that defense that's just been really squishy against the run. So that's probably where I might consider to go. Jordan Addison, I think, is still on the board, right? That might be a prime pick too, because they have nobody separating deep. After Guyton went down, dude, they have nobody vertically. Then Isaiah Foskey going to the Seahawks. Good high ceiling high floor individual that would fit the scheme exceptionally well. Very good against the run. He's got length. He's got explosiveness. It hasn't produced to elite play just yet. That's why I kind of think he's in this late first round area. But I like the pick. And then we got the New York Jets going Antonio Johnson. I like them going safety. He would be a good fit here too. A guy that could play in the slot. He could also play that traditional safety role. Coming from a more zone-oriented scheme, I think he would fit here for Salah's defense. So I think that's kind of a sleeper pick that the Jets could go safety. If they end up outside the top 20, I think that could definitely be the case. I've been putting Brian Branch there recently. It's real close between those two, though. Baltimore Ravens go Clark Phillips. I don't see him as a really good scheme fit. The dude is, like, I get it, Marcus Peters is a free agent after the season, and you get this cat that can be this playmaker like Peters is, this ball hawk. But I just don't see him as a fit because he's not a guy that can come in and play press. He's probably going to be a guy you want to play off-zone coverage with, and that's just something the Ravens don't do a ton of. But I do love Phillips, man. If he was a bit bigger and a bit taller, we'd be talking about him in the top 10. All right. Kansas City Chiefs go Joey Porter. This is just ridiculously good value and a great pick. Team that just moved on from Rashad Fenton. They've been playing a slew of rookies there on the outside. So just grab more competition and talent there, I think would be nice. Then Jordan Battle going to the Cowboys. Cowboys, they typically don't value the safety position that much, but it has been one that's been good for them. It's important for them. Right now they got Curse and Hooker there, who've been pretty solid. Jordan Battle comes into that mix, and I think would be a really good player to fill in with. Brian Branch being on the board, I might go with that instead, especially with Branch being able to play out of the slot, and their slot play hasn't been all that great either this season. So I just think there's better prospects on the board for them to go with. Bijan's still on the board. I think that's an interesting thought if you're the Cowboys. Oh my gosh, here's where Bijan Robinson goes. He's going to the Giants. So Saquon is a free agent. I have a feeling he's going to be back, but as of now, he is not. Is that confirmed? That, yeah, Barkley will be a free agent this offseason. Wow, this is stupid interesting. I mean, with Bijan available at this aspect of the draft, yeah, you'd think about it. It's not a bad thought. Honestly, another name comes to mind is Peter Skoronski, because that interior hasn't been that good for the Giants. And I know it's not a sexy pick, it's not a high value pick, but grab Skoronski and have him play guard or even center, because there's going to be questions about his length. He's not like a great in terms of athleticism. It's not elite for him, but Bijan's definitely really interesting here for the Giants. Oh, speaking of the devil, there's Peter Skoronski going to the Tennessee Titans. I like this, man. Derrick Henry's the engine of your offense, and if you're going to make sure that engine is running nice, you want to make sure everything around it's looking good. Really, the left tackle spot's up for grabs here. Skoronski is also a guy you can kick in a guard, where Brewer hasn't been particularly that good. So I like that. Henry To'oTo'o going to the Minnesota Vikings. Eric Kendricks, I think they could get rid of him after the 2023 season. Even a guy they might move on from this year. Don't think it'll be that soon. You don't know what you have in Brian Asamoah yet. Henry To'oTo'o for me is linebacker 2. In terms of his athleticism, it's there. He's got it. So I like this pick late in the first round. Ooh, Darnell Washington. Dang, Darnell Washington going here to the Buffalo Bills is interesting. And I was talking about it just in yesterday's video, man, how a lot of people, they really love them Darnell Washington just because like 6'7", he's currently 270, and just the athleticism he brings. He doesn't bring much laterally, and it's not like you look at size or speed for his size, but it's not one that's going to be like a separator at the next level. It's not, but he does have the size to be a mismatch nightmare. That's the thing. So Darnell Washington's interesting, a guy that, like, for me, honestly, might sneak into a top 50 prospect. And then as you saw, Eli Ricks going to the Eagles. Who did the Eagles snag first off earlier in this draft? I'm trying to remember. Oh, wow. They're totally revamping the corner position then. Because they grabbed Keely Ringo, and now they get Eli Ricks, who, honestly, if he plays out the rest of the year like he did that Mississippi State game, watch out. Eli Ricks back in the first-round conversation. So, wow. Pairing up Ricks with Ringo, because Slay, obviously, long in the tooth, not necessarily a long-term option, and you're replacing him and Bradbury with 2 first-round corners. I kind of like how feisty that is. That's kind of dope. I don't know. You let me know what you think about that in the comment section below, Eagles fans. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like it. But that's it for the video. Go ahead. Do the YouTube thing. We'll be here for our watch-along tomorrow as Georgia takes on Tennessee. That's going to be a banger game. But as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.